everyone. I'm Katie Darrell, and today we are at home and social with Aaron Lewis, lead singer of the multi-platinum band Stained. Aaron, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Well, I think we need to celebrate that you guys have put out some new music for us. It's been about 9 years since you dropped an album, and we're getting a live one now, right?
Right. So technically, I guess it's not new music per se.
A new interpretation.
Yeah. But that's going to lead to new music. So
All right.
That's always good.
So the album, it's like I said, it's the first album in 9 years. It's live. It's Been Awhile. That's going to be coming out on May 7th. And obviously it's recording from a live performance previously done. But that concert was recorded, not just the audio, but the video as well. And fans are going to be able to see that as a streaming concert on May 1st, I think, right?
Couple things going on. Yes, ma'am.
I know. I was joking to someone that I was like, I feel like I need to get out an old school day planner to be like, okay, so on May 1st, we get to see the streaming concert. On May 7th, we have the album. But then on May 8th, take me to May 8th, we're getting another concert performance from Stained, right?
Yes, that is the live performance of Break the Cycle from beginning to end, which that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. We'd never tried to do that before.
Yeah, I mean, because let's go back to this album, right? So Break the Cycle, it's been 20 years. This is the 20th anniversary of that successful album. And so to play an album live, obviously, you know, there's a lot of things. I mean, there's the gear probably has to switch up. You know, your tunage probably has to change. When you recorded this album, was there an argument or debate, if you will, between the band and producers as to the order that the album would be laid out in originally 20 years ago?
I don't know that we ever really argued about it. I don't really care that much, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure I let somebody else do it.
All right. So then obviously then the passion for how we're going to play this album and knowing that you're going to do it from beginning to end was a fun experiment, right?
It was a very cool experiment. Usually you don't ever get to do that. Usually you're mixing in songs from the record before and you're mixing in the songs off the new record, and you're never really afforded, unless you do something out of the ordinary and special, you're never afforded the opportunity to play the whole record from beginning to end.
Now, doing streaming concerts right now, obviously in the last 13 months, this is all the business these days. What's been your experience with preparing and getting ready to do a streaming concert? What's the rehearsal process? What's the vibe with the band?
Did we even rehearse? Yeah, we rehearsed one day. Just to make sure together. I'm sure everybody did their homework on their own. For the couch concerts that I do, that I'm actually doing one this evening, there's rarely much of a plan at all. I mean, they really kind of came from the concept of, if you want to come hang out with me for an hour on my couch while I play some songs and tell some stories and run my mouth, then tune in. And it kind of, over time, kind of developed a little bit more of an operating procedure where there's kind of a theme now every time I do one, which is starting to get old.
I think we're all just sick and tired of ourselves at this point, right? Like,
God,
it feels new. Let's go back. I want to kind of go through the history of Stained, and because it's quite the success story. And, you know, it's been 20 years since that album came out. It's Been Awhile spent 20 weeks at #1. When this single came out, it debuted at #1. So as an artist, was that the overwhelming quick overnight success feeling? Was that overwhelming? How did you feel about this coming straight out of the gates with such a huge success?
There was nothing overnight about it.
Right.
We had broken ourselves for 5 years trying to get that record deal, and we had already gone out and toured for 18 months straight. Where, I mean, in that 18 months, I'll bet you if you added up all the time that I was home, it was probably a month, maybe a month and a half out of 18 months that we were home at all. And so it was not overnight success. It was very, very much earned.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't want that to seem disrespectful because obviously,
Well, no,
it's
that
not
it
like you
happens.
just got
It
a record
happens.
deal. Like you
The
had to
over,
work to get the record deal, but I'm talking about the light switch moment where, okay, guys, we're dropping the single, and all of a sudden, everyone. I mean, it was a global sensation. That song, you couldn't get away from it. I was a radio jock back then. It was like, okay, well, it's been 45 minutes. I guess I'll have to play Stained again.
never heard it.
Never heard it?
No, I was never listening. And if it came on, I'd change it.
Why? Why in the world?
Uh, because us creatives are up. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't. I For an example, I went back and listened to Break the Cycle to you know to touch up on what I may have forgotten, which was most of the record, and I listened to it, and rather than feeling proud about it, I went right into picking myself apart and all the ways that I could have done it differently, and it's just one of those things that.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you listen to the album in preparation because May 8th, there's the live streaming performance of Break the Cycle in its entirety. So you listen to the album, you pick it apart, you hate yourself, whatever it is, the self-loathing. What's going to be different at this streaming concert? What will you do differently? Will you make the changes that you internalized after hearing the album again, or will this be played true to the album and you won't cater to what was going on in your head?
I mean, it'll totally be true to the album, and I think that that's the best record that we could have put out in that moment, and we definitely put our best foot forward. I'm just programmed to find fault with things that I do, I guess. I don't know.
Are you more critical of your work with the band Stained, or are you more critical of your solo work?
I don't think that there's a definitive line. I think that I'm just as critical of myself pretty much always.
All right, I get that. It's hard. It's hard. Let's talk about the solo work because a lot of people may not know that, here we are. For those of you just joining us, I'm speaking with Aaron Lewis, the lead singer of the multi-platinum group Stained. And you have a successful solo career in the country genre. You did the pivot and you did it well, sir. Bravo.
Thank you.
What do you like about country music and that vibe?
It's the music I was brought up on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I wasn't in my house, meaning my parents' house, if I wasn't in that house, country music was being stuffed down my throat 24/7. And when the time came to do something else and try something different, reinvent myself, if you will, the only avenue that I could go down musically without necessarily reinventing myself and staying true to myself was country music. So, and then my plumber at the time in Massachusetts, who's also a really good friend. He's not just my plumber, but he made a pride bet with me that I couldn't write a country song. And I told him to go fuck himself, and I went outside and sat down on the magical steps on that house that I've got. And in 20 minutes, I came back with Country Boy and played it for him and won the bet.
Is Country Boy the song that Charlie Daniels played on with you?
Yes. Charlie Daniels and George Jones.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty exceptional. Come out of the gate. First off, you went and wrote a song in 20 minutes. That's amazing because some people, take some years to write their, a song, let alone to just whip it out in 20 minutes. To make it such a successful track for you that other artists celebrated and liked it, like Charlie Daniels. So I think gold star, Aaron, gold star.
Well, thank you. Sometimes even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Yeah. What was it like working with Charlie Daniels? Rest in peace, by the way.
Charlie was a good man. He did a lot of good things for a lot of good people, and I miss him.
What did he teach you about country music and the people of country music? Because dare I say, there are probably a couple of people that met you with trepidation coming from Stained and coming into the country genre.
Oh, for sure. I think I'm still proving myself.
So what did Charlie give you any words of advice, wisdom?
No,
Hand
Charlie.
gestures you should throw in their general direction?
Oh, certainly that. But no, Charlie accepted me for who I was, and he heard the song, and he made no judgments on who wrote it or who sang it, and he thought it was a great song and wanted to be a part of it.
You've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to have lots of great collaborations over your career. From working with Charlie Daniels to touring alongside with Kid Rock to collaborations with Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, even Corey Taylor and Seven Dust. Do you have your sight set on anyone in particular that you would like to work with at this point?
I just did a song with Vince Gill and Dan Tominski singing on the song with me. I thought that's pretty special. Nothing like surrounding yourself with 40 or 50 or 60 Grammys.
Yeah. Is that going to be for some new solo work on your part, or was this for their album?
No, this is it's going to be on a military awareness album that Big Machine and Scott Borchetta is putting together, and I believe it's going to be on my new album as well.
Nice. When can we expect that album, by the way?
I was supposed to start recording it yesterday.
What happened?
Went fishing.
Okay.
It was a beautiful day.
Sorry, everyone else showed up and they're just sitting around.
No, I did not do that to people.
All right, you gave them at least a 30 minutes heads up that you were.
No, they knew the day before.
Okay. You love fishing. You're a hunter as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How often?
I was in the woods this morning at 5 a.m. to try to chase a turkey around.
Did you catch a turkey?
I didn't catch him.
Oh, no lunch today, huh?
No.
But you have a fish from yesterday.
No, I don't keep fish usually.
Catch and release?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. So hunting, a sport and a hobby of yours. What else do you do?
You can't really catch and release on hunting, though.
Turns out a bleeding heart is just going to kill you.
Yeah.
What other hobbies do you do to keep you entertained outside of music?
I play golf once in a while.
Are you good at it?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
I shoot in the mid to low 80s, so I guess that's pretty good.
That's decent. I used to play. I had a kid, so now I don't get to play anymore, but I respect it.
Yeah, kids and fun tend to go together like oil and water.
Well, the problem is it's like, golf, I mean, minimum 4 hours, right? Not to mention the drive to and from the course, the beers afterwards and all that stuff. I mean, it's a lot of time to ask off duty.
And I'm kidding. Kids are the biggest blessing in life by far. But,
it is fun. It is.
It was funny. So I said it.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's talk music here. All right. You're stranded alone and you get to have 5 albums with you. What 5 albums do you want with you?
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, James Taylor's Greatest Hits.
Whoa. Time out. James Taylor's greatest hits. All right. So these are the good ones. What is your favorite James Taylor song then?
Sweet Baby James,
Oh,
probably, because I live it every time I leave my house in the wintertime. Because I live in the Berkshires, where he's talking about.
how did you first discover his music?
Um, in high school on drugs, I think.
Where all good music is discovered. Duh.
I think so.
All right. So album number one was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep.
Album number two, James Taylor, Greatest Hits. I always appreciate when someone says a Greatest Hits album because, I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And that's what you got to do on this stranded location where you are.
Right.
Right?
You got to do that. If you only got five, you better
Yeah,
choose five good ones. And
you also got to grab a double discer in there somewhere. But all right. Album number three.
Album number three would be Led Zeppelin 4.
All right. Led Zeppelin 4. Is that the one with Black Dog? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Sticks or whatever the hell they call it. But Led Zeppelin 4 is, I believe, what it was. So that's number three. I got two more that I got to come up with. Man.
Can I ask you some Led Zeppelin questions?
Okay.
All right. So Led Zeppelin questions. I mean, there's so much talent in that band. Who impresses you the most?
John Bonham. Because he was like completely blackout wasted and playing the drums like that. Kudos.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Walking under the influence is difficult, let alone being in Led Zeppelin under the influence. Come on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that was Led Zeppelin. That was album number three, right? So now we have to go on to album number four. You're stranded. Aaron Lewis.
Bob Marley's greatest hits. Bob Marley's greatest hits. You got to have, especially if you're stranded on an island. Good Lord.
All right. We need a little like Three Little Birds, right?
Yeah, for sure. And some food and water, maybe.
Bob Marley is fantastic, and it will give you that vibe and help the escapism. I can already smell the pina colada being made on the other side of the island.
Right, or the celebration of 420.
Oh, look at that! You're right. Hey, happy 420, by the way.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Bob Marley, greatest hits is album number four. Album number five, if Aaron Lewis is stranded alone, which is so sad. So sad. I'm sorry.
What would be the fifth and final record? Good God. I'd probably miss the boat that I was traveling on that sunk, that I washed ashore on the deserted island in the first place, trying to pick the fifth perfect record.
Let's talk about new music. What is there any new music that you're into right now? Maybe we can bring a new artist with you.
I mean, I could certainly throw a Post Malone record in there if we were going to do that.
Yeah. What do you like about Post?
His same I don't give a kind of attitude. I like Posty. You think he's just when you think that he's surprised you as many times as he's going to, he surprises you again.
All right. Well, we've got a lot to remember from this conversation. A lot of dates: May 1st, May 7th, and May 8th. They're all important dates for Stained. We can get a live album. We can get 2 different streaming concerts. It seems like we've got a lot of opportunities to stalk you, Aaron Lewis.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.